to beat every single dungeon's floor, what gear you're going to need, and a strategy for beating the boss as well. And yeah, let's get straight into the video. So yeah, one of the most frequent questions I get asked is how to beat a certain floor in dungeons, and I'm going to give you my advice on each floor. So basically, what you want to do for entrance, now this is obviously quite easy for most people, but some people just started dungeons, so you need combat level 15, so you probably have some decent stuff, you probably have dragon armor of some sort. Now what I'd suggest for the first one is you get strong dragon armor and aspect of the end, doesn't have to be with ultimate wise on it, put it to sharp or spicy if you don't need crit chance, and you'll be able to do a good amount of damage in dungeons. You could use a Raider's Axe as well to do similar damage, I think. And yeah, that should get you through entrance, I think, but with the strong dragon armor bonus, with the aspect of the end, it'll probably be better. That would quite easily get you through entrance, if as long as you've got competent teammates who can actually help you a little bit. So that should get you through entrance. Now, you don't really have to buy anything specifically dungeons related for entrance. Then onto floor 1. Now, floor 1, obviously, entrance is just the watcher for the boss. You don't get any loot from the chests either, and you don't get much loot from the mobs, so you probably won't pick up anything useful. But in floor 1 and floor 2, you might want to start getting some sort of dungeons armor and dungeons weapons. I don't think any of the weapons would compare to strong AOTE just yet. But yeah, you want to. I think you should be good on floor 1 as long as your catacombs level obviously doesn't really apply yet. But yeah, killing Bonzo is quite easy. What you have to do, so he'll spawn in the middle in his first stage. You want to kill him when he gets to the edge of the arena, and put him in a corner. Make sure his corpse is in the corner, and then when he respawns, you combo him into the corner so he can't escape, and his spinning Bonzo staff attack doesn't do as much stuff because it's in the corner and you can't get hit by half of them. So yeah, you don't want to let him get into the middle is the main thing, and yeah. In terms of a pet, I'd suggest maybe a blue whale. I'd go for rare just for now because I have a rare still and it's fine. Yeah, I think legendary gives you better stuff, but it's like 16 mil, so definitely not worth it yet. But I think that blue whale should be about not very much. I think you can get one quite easily. You could use a tiger or an enderman or something, a damage pet maybe, but I'd suggest a health pet to start with because they're always good to make sure you survive in the early floors of dungeons. And yeah, that's basically all the stuff you're going to need. You could use, I was thinking you can use rotten armor, or you could use, I don't know what the equivalent for skeleton is, but yeah, I think rotten armor might be a decent one because you only need catacombs level 1, which you should get from just one entrance run, maybe. I'm not sure in the XP. And yeah, you'll basically just need to have good talismans and stuff like that. Now, my advice would be pretty similar for floor 2, but you have to change a few things for the boss fight. So it's Scarf, isn't it, for the boss fight? I'd suggest, in terms of class as well, I'd suggest not going mage or tank early game because those two classes are very much catered towards later floors, and also if you go tank, you have to absorb other people's damage, which is not good to be doing early game if you have no good gear. If you see, I don't know if you can see it here, but yeah, people will literally just steal your health even if you're not taking damage. You can still take damage, which is very bad in boss fights, especially if you have bad gear. So yeah, that is basically the reason. And then you move on to Scarf. So Scarf, the main bit that's going to kill you is when he starts doing true damage. And this is where it gets annoying. So he spins around and he shoots soul sand at you. Now this bit will hurt a lot. Now what I suggest doing is get whoever's the tank in the party to stand in the corner, and then as long as they can survive, all the other people sort of converge on him, just hit him while he's in that little corner behind the portal. I think is the best way to do it. In terms of any gear improvements, I don't think there's really anything you gain from getting a floor 1 completion. Maybe a Bonzo stuff. I think I still have one somewhere. Yeah, I think I still have a Bonzo stuff, but I don't think it's worth. I don't know how many coins it is now, but yeah, you could get one of these, but I think it's quite a lot of mana cost, and unless you're going mage at very low level, I don't think it's going to be very useful for you. It could be good for 1 and 2. In terms of, yeah, don't use this thing in any later floors because it's just not very good after a while. But yeah, you could use Wise Dragon Armor and some goggles from the shop. The shop does have some interesting items. Now, mainly they're class dependent, obviously. So if you want healer, you could get the Mender crown. That's pretty decent. And these are also Mender helmet. So these are pretty decent starting dungeons items, which you can star. Now that's interesting. When you pick up dungeons gear, what I'd suggest, if you don't need it, if you're not going to wear it, put it into the salvage, because you'll get you end up getting like 2,000 essence from undead. Especially you won't get much wither essence because that's used for a lot of stuff later on. But yeah, definitely get that. Now I'm gonna be back in a sec to do floor 3. Alright, so in floor 3, you basically have to, in the boss fight, you have to kill 4 guardians, and then you have to kill the guy in the middle, and then all the guardians form together to make one big guardian who will try and kill you, basically. But yeah, you'll definitely need some good gear to fight this floor. I'd suggest maybe zombie soldier at this point, because I assume you probably have by floor 3 you'll probably have catacombs level 5 at least, but you might be able to get up to 9. I'm not sure if that will be before you do floor or not. Yeah, you probably but you can get zombie soldier and get zombie soldier cutlass, which might be very good. And you definitely want to start at this point. You want to start starring your armor and starring your weapons, because then you'll probably have enough like random junk you've salvaged to get at least a few upgrades with some undead essence, and do that sort of thing. Now in terms of pet, I think it's just the same as the rest of them. I'll show you a picture of the floor 3 boss room on the screen. Basically, what you want to do is, especially if you're soloing, what you have to do is you have to go to each of the guardians, put them down to about 50k health, or whatever you can one shot, and then put all of them down to that, and then kill the healer one first, then kill the rest of them, and you'll get the shield down quite easily. Then you can fight the rest of it quite easily. It's not too hard. And then especially when you get to the last bit, make sure everyone in your party stands in the middle, because otherwise the guardian will fly around, and once it gets like the further on it goes, the harder it gets for you to kill him, because the water comes up and stuff. But yeah, that's basically my floor 3 guide. In terms of floor 4, now this one's quite difficult. I'll show you a picture of the room. Now this one, it's not as straightforward as you'd think. There's a lot of very high health mobs and stuff like that will jump at you, and these things, you don't really have to kill them. You just need to, I think you need to kill a few to get a spirit bear to spawn. Now once that spirit bear has spawned, you can then kill it and get a spirit bow, which now you can shoot at Thorn, who's the ghast that flies around, and he's the boss. Now you need to hit it 4 times, and so each kill you need to kill 4 spirit bears to get enough bows. And yeah, if you hit it 4 times in a row, then you will get Thorn dead, and that's really not nice. So yeah, that is basically what you have to do for floor 4. But I'd suggest a few things for gear. Now you have unlocked adaptive at this point, because you just completed floor 3, and with adaptive you get, I think adaptive is quite good, but it looks like it's quite a lot of money. I remember, I think adaptive is like 9 million altogether for the whole set, something like that. The chestplate is very, very expensive, so this is really cheap, 145k. You can definitely get that. It does look, the boots don't look great, but I think there must be adaptive fragments. I think if you get those on it, that looks pretty decent. And you get 181 health, which is very nice for the boots. And then you can get adaptive legs, and these are, how much are these? 1 mil. So that's 111k, or 111 mil. No, I can't read. And then the helmet, so that's easier. And then the chest is about 4 mil, so you will spend a decent amount on that. But that will be a decent armor set for floor 4 that you have now unlocked. And what I suggest from that point is you get a decent weapon. Now, I don't know if there's any good dungeons weapons you can use. There's a Dreadlord sword maybe, or something like that. Just the zombie soldier cutlass. And these things should get you slightly enough, but you probably have a better weapon, maybe like an aspect of the dragons or something like that in vanilla, like without going into dungeons, that you can use to get higher damage. Now that is basically what I'd suggest for floor 4. But yeah, in terms of boss fight, you just have to survive the mobs. Definitely don't go up on the sides, because there's bats there, unless you have a decoy up, which the bats should go to. Sometimes they don't. And yeah, that's basically how to do floor 4. Then onto 5, I'll show you a picture of the room. Now, floor 5 is interesting because I'd say the best strategy is literally just there's a corner in the like up top corner. You want to jump up like that, and just wait here until Livid teleports up to you. There's about 5 Livids, and you basically just have to hit them. You just have to spam hit in the corner. You'll be blinded. And yeah, you basically just have to survive long enough. You need a healer you definitely want a healer to do that. Now for floor 5, I'm trying to think what extra gear you would get. Now this is the difficult one because probably adaptive is still good enough for 5. Maybe you'll survive because adaptive is very good because it adjusts to your class and gives you certain stats. So I think healer adaptive you might be able to survive in floor 5. Now this is the interesting bit. Once you finish floor 5, you can basically do most of the floors because you'll have Shadow Assassin now. This is one of the best sets, not best sets in the game, but like most. I don't know, just it's a very good set. Now, the way you get this obviously is by just doing chests, getting the chests in the floor 5, and they're very expensive, quite a lot. But I'd suggest buying 3/4 Shadow Assassin first. Maybe use a Zombie Knight chest plate or Zombie Soldier, and then you want to use eventually get the chest plate, but it is like 20 mil. So yeah, you probably won't be able to get it just yet. And then you want a livid frag, or no, yeah, livid frag, all of this to make it legendary, so you get better reforges and you also get better stats. You also want a hot potato bucket, and then you can use also a livid dagger as your weapon. You can use a flower of truth at any point throughout dungeons, actually, if you want to. I think you can just buy these for, they're quite cheap now. Yeah, that might be a good idea to do for 4 and 5, like the first time, because Flower of Truth is still a half decent weapon. It won't be as good as it was before because they recently nerfed strength quite a lot. So yeah. Now floor 6, this is the last floor I've actually completed myself. But floor 6, basically the boss fight. I'll show you the room. It starts with terracottas. Now this is the hardest bit of the boss fight, I'd say. The terracottas will spawn out of the ground, and you basically have to just survive, try and run away for a certain amount of time. And don't go anywhere near the golems, don't hit them, because if you wake the golem, it'll be really annoying. But yeah, you want to wait for them till you've killed the terracottas first. Then all the giants will come up, you kill the giants, and then one big giant comes up, binds with Satan, and you want to hide under the archway at the back, and then just poke his toes, or you can use spirit scepters and just spam it for like 8 years and eventually kill it. That is basically how you do floor 6. Now floor 7 I've never actually completed, so I don't actually know exactly how the boss is laid out. I know there's like 3 phases to it, but in terms of gear, floor 7, I don't think there's too much you can actually do before you've completed it once. But once you've completed floor 7, there's a bunch of arm sets. So you got Necron, you've got Storm, and you've got Goldor, and you've got, I can't think of any more. There's one more. I don't remember what it's called. Necromancer Lord maybe or something. No, that's floor 6. I don't know. There's another one, but I can't remember it. But yeah, once you have that, you can also get a Hyperion maybe, but that's 500 million coins. But that is the best weapon in dungeons because you can actually just clear floors instantly, clear everything. Yeah, it's really easy. So yeah, Hyperion is very good. I don't know about any. There probably is a good sword you can use that's better than a livid dagger. That isn't a Hyperion because they just cost so much money at the moment. But yeah, floor 7 is very difficult. I know there's like, you have terminals as well. There's mostly you have solvers for them, I think. But you have terminals, you have to go through this little parkour bit, and you have to kill like 3 stages of the wither. Now I know like the last bit is the hardest because you have to like jump into a bunch of wither skeletons, and yeah, that's really annoying. Some people suggest a Bonzo mask for that because it helps you survive when you get hit by the thing. I'm not exactly sure how floor 7 works, so definitely need an more in-depth guide probably. But yeah, overall, I just suggest like overall tips is try and get S's and S pluses throughout your process because it's gonna make it a lot easier to grind catacombs levels. And also, I actually found that it probably isn't accessible for most of you, but I started streaming and I found a lot of people who could help me do later floors and stuff like that. So I'm now nearly catacombs 21. I need 24 to do floor 7. So yeah, it's a bit difficult to get any further than this, but yeah, just keep trying and eventually you'll get it. Now, other skills you want is definitely you need to learn secrets because otherwise you're gonna be a bit of a drain to your team. I don't know all the secrets currently, but there's some good discords and things you can find that'll help you learn secrets, and that's basically how you get S's. I'd also suggest getting either a Badline client or I think Sky Tills or something has it, but get something with solvers. They recently added a new enchantment experimentation table solver, which is very useful. So definitely suggest getting on a client and doing that. But yeah, that is basically all I recommend for dungeons, and that should be a good guide on how to do it. But if you did enjoy the video, please subscribe. I'm going to be uploading hopefully more frequently in the near future. But yeah, that's going to do it for today, and goodbye.